Welcome to Earthwork Echoes, where old craft meets the hands that mastered it. There's a man who spent 60 years turning raw logs into something you could walk in. By the time he stopped, almost nobody on Earth still knew how to do what he did. And the tool he used to shape the inside of each shoe, one slip, one moment of lost focus, and the whole piece splits apart. Watch how he makes sure that never happens. Right away, we're outside, and there's a thick section of poplar waiting on the chopping block. This isn't oak or maple. Poplar grows fast along wet riverbanks, and that rapid growth gives it a softness most woodworkers would reject. But for this craft, soft is exactly what you need. A harder wood would fight the blade at every step. Poplar yields just enough to let a sharp edge glide through cleanly. Now watch his hands. Before he picks up a tool, he's reading the end grain of the log. He presses his palm across the surface, measuring distances between natural stress lines. He's deciding where the splitting wedges go, because if he places them wrong, the grain tears unevenly and half the blank becomes firewood. Every split has to follow the fibers, not fight them. The wedge sinks in, and the wood opens along a clean line. That's 60 years of reading timber with nothing but touch. chunk that falls away is roughly the volume of one shoe. From a single round section, he'll pull 4, sometimes 6 blanks. And here's what's remarkable, he already knows what sizes those blanks will become. The diameter of the log, the way the grain fans out, even slight curves in the growth rings, all of that tells him whether he's looking at a large man's work shoe or something smaller. Inside the workshop now, and things get interesting. There's a copying lathe built in the 1930s, the only piece of mechanization he ever allowed into this space. The machine has 2 stations, one for shaping the outside, one for hollowing the inside, and both rely on wooden models acting as templates. He locks the blank in place, selects a model in the correct size, and clamps it into the frame below. The blank and model rotate together at the same speed. When the milling cutter engages, it traces the model's contour and transfers that shape onto the raw blank. Wood peels away in curling ribbons. But here's the catch most people miss. He can't press too hard. The model is wood too, and every pass wears it down slightly. Push too aggressively and the template loses accuracy. Every shoe after that comes out wrong. You can see him feathering the pressure, letting the cutter work without forcing it. To protect vulnerable spots, the heel curve, the toe ridge, he's hammered small nails into the model's surface. Metal resists the friction wood cannot. Before this machine, he finished 7 to 10 shoes daily. After, 70 to 80 pairs. But don't mistake speed for simplicity. The lathe only handles rough shaping. Every shoe still needs hours of hand finishing. The hollowing station is where most pieces are at risk. A spoon-shaped drill waits between the blank and matching model. He moves the blank against the drill by hand, and the curved bit scoops out material in thin crescents. A feeler traces the model's inside, controlling how deep the drill can go. If his hand drifts past what the feeler allows, the wall gets too thin and the wood will crack under person's weight. This step demands absolute steadiness. At the bench, he selects a double-edged heel knife. The blade curves to match the cup of the heel, and he draws it along the inner walls with slow strokes. Shavings curl up, and the surface goes from rough to glassy. Every few minutes, he stops to resharpen. A dull blade tears the grain instead of slicing it, and torn grain means blisters. Sharpness isn't optional, it's the whole game. At its peak, his workshop consumed over 100 cubic meters of poplar yearly. Customers ranged from local farmers to industrial wholesalers supplying chemical plants where heavy wooden shoes protected workers on hot, wet floors. But the world shifted. Rubber boots replaced wooden shoes. Regulations changed. In the mid-20th century, this single village had over 60 clog makers. By the time he set down his tools, he was among the very last. What's left now is the knowledge, the way a palm reads a log, the pressure that keeps a template from wearing out, the steadiness required to hollow a shoe without cracking it. That understanding doesn't transfer to a manual. It lives in the hands, and when the hands stop, it goes quiet. If this craftsmanship keeps you watching, subscribe and stick around. Earthwork Echoes has more stories waiting, real people, real tools, and work that deserves remembering.